I'll give everybody a second to possibly come into the chat. I've been trying to go live for actually a little bit of time. I'm not sure what the problem was, but I think it could be because I was trying to watch another chat at the same time. I was watching Wendy's chat at the same time as I was trying to do my own personal thing. Today was another Cubs game, so I figured that I would take the opportunity to do what I've been doing in the past on Fridays, and it was extremely interesting, to be honest. Also, there was a Jewish holiday the past few days, and I couldn't go live, but at one point I wish I could have gone live. I had some pretty cool info regarding some interesting stuff regarding Scientology. I hope that I can't I have the receipts for it, and I do plan on probably handing off the information to someone else who is spends more significant time auditing and doing stuff like that. As of right now, I'm gonna continue. I met an individual who works alongside with Scientology, all because of that one day that I bumped into a bunch of people from the Church of LDS, and potentially an individual that was part of the Nation of Islam. I don't know all of the info yet, but I did have a conversation with one of the individuals from the Church of the LDS Church, and he explained to me why he was hanging out with Scientologists, and he explained to me he did a pretty cool job. My issue with him is simply that I after having the conversation with him, and he approached me because I had made some comments wasn't loud or mean or anything like that, but I was very clear about my perspective on certain things, and I had approached them. And so he wanted to have a conversation with me, and I'm not sure how old he is. And to me, that's significant. If he's not an adult, I don't want to be using I have a video. Basically, I did video last week, a conversation that I had. The Cubs game just ended, by the way, which is why you're going to see tons of people walking around. A lot of people just got to the park and stuff like that. But I ended up having a conversation with this dude, and it was pretty cool. He was pretty upfront about Scientology, and he was pretty upfront about his relationship with Scientology, and without getting into too much detail, because I really do hope to do something with this information and this experience. I will just simply state that Scientology essentially made themselves out to be, open to other religions, as they constantly try to do, and they have this relationship now with some of the young adults, if not just teens, walking around, and they're willing to hand out those free admission tickets and flyers and stuff like that about Scientology, while they promote their agenda from their church's perspective. So I tried to go live. It was crazy. It's kind of best that I didn't right by I wanted to do it right by the Cubs game, but it was so loud, and the train was like crazy. I still am right by the train, but this is the spot where people come and hang out on at the very least on weekends. I've seen people here on Saturday, which I don't go live on Saturday either. By the way, anybody in the group, just shout out who you are. I like when people interact, make comments. I prefer that. But I'm sure Osa is in here too. Osa, you can sit and spin. Sit and spin. But anyway, yeah, so it was just an interesting experience, and I had a conversation today as well, and I'm hoping that this individual is going to feel comfortable enough having a conversation with one of the other streamers in our community. I didn't have a full conversation about it yet but there's two individuals that I'm probably gonna. Hello from Kenosha, Wisconsin, cul-de-sac. What's up, Jim? So very cool heart there, Jim. Yeah, so anyway, so I had a significant conversation with these various people from various religions, and it appears that Scientology is trying to embed themselves within any religion that does recruitment so that they can get themselves out in the open and try to recruit in that fashion. I find it not just fascinating, I find it like, if you ever want to know whether or not someone is so full of it, all you got to do is look at something like this. It's like Scientology just looks so stupid when they do this type of stuff, because it's like transparent. It's like completely transparent. It's just, it boggles my mind, to be honest. But yeah, and like I always like to say, I speak to people before I just start going live, people in the park, but I know a lot of these people, and they're obviously okay with it. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think. I find it fascinating. You guys know that my main topic of conversation is I'm in Chicago. I'm near Wrigley, where the Cubs play. For the past about month or so, I've been following cul-de-sac. I've been following around people handing out flyers and stuff like that in and around an area on the north side. And this bench right here is a spot that they began to utilize on a pretty regular basis with regards to look at that little kid going inside my box. It's so funny. Hello, no, don't put your mouth. Icky. This is not, it doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste good. No. This is an adorable little kid trying to drink my suntan lotion. Here, you like the box? You want a box? Here. There you go. That's better. You don't want to drink my lotion.
He's probably thinking you got food.
Yeah, she was trying to drink my lotion.
So, all right, come on.
I apologize.
No,
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
She's adorable.
Thank you. Stay over here.
That was awesome. That's your old neighborhood? Yeah, it's a great neighborhood, to be honest. A lot of parents and families, young families in this neighborhood. It's pretty much like I would say, yeah, it's like it's near like I don't know if you're familiar with the Howard Brown Center, and it's like near Boys Town, and there's actually a lot of like a lot of young couples, like probably more so in this neighborhood than anywhere else in the Chicagoland area. Yeah, it's near Broadway and Belmont. It's actually very close. Let's put it that way. Very, very close. The property I'm on is owned by a church, a real church, a significantly prominent church in the community over here. And they do a lot of good for the people around here. But it's a very like LGBTQ neighborhood. But what I would say is that it's like very family oriented. So you have like a lot of people with families, and people feel really comfortable for the most part in this community. It's a pretty accepting, be who you are, do what you do kind of community. It's a little bit expensive in my opinion to live in around here, but for me it's convenient to be here for my work, so some of the work that I do, and so that's why I'm here. But the reason why I'm at the exact spot that I'm at right now is because this is exactly what Scientology attempted to do with the Church of LDS, and I was furious. I was absolutely furious. And ever since then, so just like today, first I was following them around by literally by, here's the train like right above there. And then I just if I eventually either lose them or it appears that they're done, whatever, I usually just head towards this area, and I did film the conversation I was having with a youngster. I do not know if this individual is an adult or not. It's the second conversation I've had with this person, and I got some pretty cool information. So I'm hoping that I'm able to do something with that information. Hopefully there'll be people interested who have more time than I do. And this individual is very open, and I don't know, I found it fascinating. It seems like I have a feeling it's one of those individuals that's probably not going to be part of the his community, or the community that he's in right now, very much longer. You could just see he's got one foot out, but more than willing to have a conversation with me about it, and that I find to be awesome. I love when people have the willingness to talk. I love it. It's not common, you know. It's just not that common. But yeah. So cul-de-sac, what are you doing out in Kenosha? It's a great place to be during the summer. Kenosha. Great place to be during the summer. I used to take my kids out to not that Kenosha is next door per se, but I used to take them to all the water parks at least once a summer. We would go there for like a weekend. We'd camp out, and I loved it out there. I haven't been out there for a while. My kids are a little bit. I had kids when I was very young, so they're already grown, mostly. My son is in school, but he's in school like full time right now, so and my daughter's grown. Amazing children. But anyway, so that's the reason I don't end up going out to Wisconsin that much more. But I used to go all the time. Wisconsin is a great, I don't think people, I think it's underrated. It's one of those states that's way underrated. Do you guys have any Scientology out there? Probably not. I'm going to be going all over I don't know if you've been on my chat, cul-de-sac, or Jim. I don't know, Jim, if you've been on my thing, but I'm going to be going all around the Midwest very soon, a couple weeks. I'm going to start a big trip. I'm going to be giving a bunch of public speeches and doing a bunch of things, mostly in Iowa. Yeah, sales tax only 5%. I know, right? Anybody with a family, and if you want to dress your kids well, or you just want to have like nice clothing, it's like a big thing from the community I come from, where it's like you got a huge family and not a ton of money to spend on clothing and stuff. All those outlets that are right outside of Illinois, it's like maybe an hour away from Chicago. But literally, I would say, like, if you get on the 2E, or let's just think of this neighborhood. Let's say you get on the Belmont entrance to the 94. It's maybe an hour away with no traffic. Really, it closed up. I don't know why nobody told me that. I didn't know that. That's fascinating, because usually they don't close things up. They just pretend like they still exist. I find that interesting. I find that extremely interesting. But you might like my content coming up to the month of July. I'll be going live a lot. Right now I don't have as much time as some of the other people do. I wish I did. I get along with everybody. As far as I know there's like a lot of little. I like to address the fact that I'm aware that there's politics that are going on. I'm going to refer to it as politics. I am so uninvolved and really not even that well informed. But like I always say in my chat, as long as you're respectful, I have no problem having the discussions. I think they're important conversations to have, but it's got to just be respectful. I'll throw that out there. I'm friends with some of the bigger creators. Yeah, I know, no tax. Dude, it's like an amazing, it's just the whole state is beautiful, man. It's just a beautiful place. it's such a beautiful place. I mean, it's so underrated. First of all, people forget Wisconsin still is off the lake. So they forget that. They think of it as like, all right, well, now you're in, some of the open land and whatever. But no, it's like you're not that far from Lake Michigan if you want. And the amount of, one of my favorite places is actually Lake Geneva, the fake Lake Geneva. Not, you know what I mean? Like, I've been to the real one too. But Lake Geneva is one of my favorite places during the winter, actually, too. I love going up there. My buddy owns a like a condo kind of a thing. It's kind of cool, like right off the lake, but there's like a lot of snow activities. Like when I was younger, one of the things we used to do is Super Bowl weekend, we would go up there and stay in Lake Geneva, like right off the lake. We would have like a blast on Super Bowl weekend. We would go up there, and there's like a kind of like a little theater that's like right next door, and so we used to rent it out, watch the game, and barbecue in the snow. When I was younger, like much younger, I loved it. I love Wisconsin, man. I love it. Other than Milwaukee, though, there's not such a large Jewish population, or at least religious, I should say. I'm sure there's plenty of Jews all over the place, but also Madison has a pretty big population because of the universities and stuff like that. But yeah, absolutely love Wisconsin. Huge fan of Wisconsin. Do you know the name of the forest that's right near all the water parks? I don't know the name of the city. I'm trying to think really hard of the name of the city that's right outside. I can't think of the name. But there's a beautiful camping grounds, and you don't necessarily need to like reserve a spot. You just have to. They have like a lot of cops they have like forest rangers patrolling, and it's a place where you really have to, just keep things clean and whatever. But they have these little dugout spots for people, and it's kind of like get it as you come. I know I've met people out there that are there the entire summer, and that is very close to Lake Michigan in Wisconsin, very close to Lake Michigan. Outside Madison, drawing a blank here too. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it's such a beautiful forest, and it's huge. So where you start is not like next to the lake, but if you go deep, then like the lake's right there. It's really cool. But yeah, I mean, I love the water parks too. I think it's the water park capital of America. I believe Wisconsin has more water parks than any other like place, like even remotely close to what they got. It's insane. And people forget that even, people think of Six Flags as a Chicago or Illinois based, park, but it's really not. It's really very much Wisconsin. It's like right at the edge, and it's in my opinion, I feel more like I'm in Wisconsin when I'm out there than I do like I'm in Illinois. Because like to see like what Illinois really is, it's not Chicago. It's like South. That's like, most of Illinois is, people don't realize that. It's just Chicago's such a big city, and we're off the lake, and but like it's like most of Illinois is South. Wisconsin, the second you get out of what is it? It's Lake Cook. So I know Lake County starts, and then literally maybe 2 more exits down from Lake Cook Road, you're literally in Wisconsin. Literally, like, yeah, I love Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin Dells is obviously what I'm referring to. Yeah, first of all, you are correct. Yeah, that's what I thought you assumed that I was referring to that, but I can't remember the name of the forest, but I'm sure you clearly know what I'm talking about, because that's exactly where it is. We used to go to the water parks and then stay in a hotel, but then also camp out at least 1 or 2 of the nights in this one forest ground. It's beautiful. But yeah, Wisconsin's awesome. I'm really happy you guys don't have any Scientology out there. You can you're free to exist without the burden of the terror that they create for a lot of people. We also get a lot of our dairy, like in my community, like the kosher, let's just say the kosher Jewish community. A lot of the dairy, I think 100% of it comes from Wisconsin. If I'm correct, I believe that, like, and that's for like the whole world. Like, I think it's like 90 or 99% of the kosher dairy foods come from Wisconsin. I could be off with regards to that, because I know that there are some farmlands on the East Coast that are owned, or at least operated, and they're at least owned and operated by people that yes, Crestland, that's for sure it. You got it. That's for sure it. Yep. That is absolutely correct. I was actually in my brain, I was like thinking, like, is it Christland? I remember, yeah, that's for sure it. Yes. Very cool, yeah. I love that spot. It's awesome out there. Awesome. But I guess you're from Chicago too. Chicago is awesome. I love Chicago. Right here, it's like so congested. It's like this is the only park in, like, I mean, you could see we're just surrounded by what people refer to as concrete jungle. There's a lot of that in Chicago. We do have the lake, and it's not far from here. I wish that they would have started walking in that direction, because today's such a beautiful day. We have some people, Cardinals fans, leaving the game. People come to Wrigley. I'm really close to Wrigley. That's where I started. I wanted to go live from Wrigley, but I wasn't able to, like, quickly do it, and it was more important for me to, in my mind, it was more important to try to, like, follow without being, I was trying to be discreet, and I wanted to have that conversation with this one individual that always talks to me. So I just think it's crazy that Scientology is at the point where they've got, like, other religions doing their dirty work by making it seem like, oh yeah, you could be part of the LDS church, and then you could become the best LDS church member in the world if you join Scientology and you do all this auditing and da-da-da. It's just craziness. I have so many tickets that I've taken from the families just from this little park that I'm at right now. It's crazy the amount of tickets they hand out for their free movies. Free movie. Oh, they're just out of their mind. Literally out of their mind. It's so crazy. But this is a great spot. It is where everybody comes. If you look in the distance, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So you got the tracks, and then right below the tracks, so you got the tracks. I don't know if you can see them or not, but start all the way and they curve down there. And then right there, so right behind the park, is this huge dog park. It's awesome. I know the movies suck, right? There's such bad movies, yeah. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely correct. I'm telling you, a long time ago in 2008, when I first, like, was super offended by, hurt very badly by something that they did to somebody that I loved very much. I looked into it, and I tried to read, like, part of Dianetics. Like, I couldn't. It was just, oh my God. It's like, the book is, I can't even believe people read it. It's crazy. That book is just horrible. That's just my perspective, but yeah, so their movies are just as bad, I will say that. Yep, they have Tom Cruise, so they get a decent production team, and they still put out crappy movies. Like, they could easily do something much cooler, but they don't. I think South Park made the most well put together film about Scientology, even with regards to Scientologists. I think that they did the best. They were amazing. But yeah, they are such bad movies. I completely agree. Some of my regulars aren't here today. I apologize. I know that a lot of people that do come into my chat know that I usually, on Friday, I'm usually live starting between 1 and 3. But today I was really running around. It's a big game. So people are leaving it now. The Scientologists, the body routers dispersed on the tracks, the big track by Addison, and then I just followed till I couldn't follow no more, and then I ended up back in the neighborhood that I live in, at the only park I live in. But like I said, happy to help them upon their rapid decline. Yeah, right, exactly. I am more than willing. And I make it very clear to people, I am a religious man, so it's not like I don't believe that, it's just the difference between religion and what they got going on is so significant. It's quite literally insane. But yeah. But I always tell people, it doesn't bother me whether or not I have a big channel or not. I started this channel just because of Scientology, but during the summer, I combined the two channels. So there's a lot of people that just watch my content during the summer. So I know that at that point, there'll be a lot of people that will be interested. But right now, oh, what's up? St. Louis Scientology Squirrel. How you doing? I was just saying that I'm not, my channel, I would love if it grew, but it's not the most significant thing to me. If it doesn't, I'm just doing what I can. For the first, most of the time that I've been out there with the other protesters, I was not doing live. I was just there as support. A lot of the people in the beginning really thought that I was a plant because I didn't have live going on, nothing. But some of the people that are in the anti-Scientology movement, whatever you want to call it, were like, no, we know this dude, whatever. It's pretty easy to figure out who I am. I'm not some I that it's a small channel. I do hope to give this new resource that I found doing well. You have such an amazing story. I don't understand why your channel's not bigger. Well, it's because I don't really talk about my story. I had another channel and it was huge because of my story. And this one will, once people realize that this is a new channel, St. Louis Scientology Squirrel, once people during the summer recognize that I changed, I'd mostly just go live on this channel, it will eventually combine. And then I'm not really doing enough work to there's a WhatsApp group, for example, where there's a few hundred that are for sure part, and then there's if you go on, there's a Facebook group that I'm on all the time, speaking on all the time, and it's thousands of people follow me, thousands. But yeah, and like I said, in mid-July through the end of July, you'll see a lot of people will pop in that don't normally pop in. I never had put any Scientology content out there, so that's really what this channel was for. And then some people did look at least one of the reasons I'm passionate about doing what I do. Obviously, I always let everybody know that they hurt somebody I love very much, or loved very much, not with us anymore, this individual, and they hurt that family tremendously, and it just sucks. So yeah, it's been years that I've felt the way I felt, and I used to watch Streets for a long time, and then I noticed what he was doing, and then I was I was pretty sure that the org here, which is actually not the old building, which I'm not far from right now, it pretty much was it wasn't very successful. And then when I heard they were doing the opening, I actually got tickets to go to the opening, didn't get in, got in an argument with them, ended up going to the police station, filing reports, and watched a lot of the content from the individuals who were live there. And ever since then, I was a part of it. And then not too long ago, I said, all right, I'll go live too. But generally I don't. But yeah, this new individual that I met and the conversation I had with him, it's absolutely fascinating. And I think that some of the other people who spend a lot of time researching and doing good work in this movement will really love this opportunity, because it's someone kind of on the inside, and it's really crazy that they got this individual around the city. And how you showed, yeah, Solomon, yeah, okay, good. I'm happy you feel that way. Actually, so you brought it up, so I'll just say Solomon is the reason I went live. it just got to the point where I felt like there needed to be another, there had to be another, phone, another live, someone else videoing, because like, he was very passionate. Let's just say that he was very passionate about everything he was doing while he was here. But yeah, Solomon's amazing. His family's amazing. It was awesome. That weekend was awesome with him. And I know Scientology, you're one of my regular Scientology Squirrel. You do support my life, and I appreciate that. I do. I really do appreciate that. I do. I really do appreciate that. You for sure will love what's going to be going on in July. And it's funny, St. Louis Scientology Squirrel. At the very beginning, the first few times you were in my chat, I didn't. Yeah, you had no idea Solomon was your. Yeah, he literally. I finally said I had already been out there with everybody else, but he literally. I had to. He was being himself, and it was like they called the cops and whatever, and I just needed to make sure that it was documented. So that was it. I went live. People had been shouting out my new channel, so that I had enough subscribers already to go live. And I had already made it so that on any day I could have, and then I eventually just did go live. But he definitely was my inspiration. Yeah, we had a good time. We went everywhere when he was here. He had a good time too. I don't know how that kid's got so much energy. It's crazy. But I guess when you're young. But anyway, Scientology School, I was saying that I'm going to pass on this new information I got from an individual who is at least body routing on some level for Scientology. The one that spoke to me is not a Scientologist, but for Scientology. They made a deal with, I guess, the Church of LDS. And I'm not showing any of the receipts or the video yet because I do not know how old this individual is. Until I see some form of ID that they're at least 18, I don't feel comfortable putting it out there. I just don't feel comfortable putting out these conversations I've had. But the second I really find out, then I will put it out there. Like I said, I'll probably hand it off to other people that can do more with the info. I don't go live enough. I don't do this enough for me to I don't care in the sense that like I don't need the glory of whatever I found out. It doesn't matter to me. As long as it's used appropriately, the info, I'll be the happiest guy ever. But yeah. Yep. This bench, I'm telling you, this is where they sit. 5 of them, almost every single Friday. And Saturday. Saturday, I don't go live, but almost every single Friday and Saturday. Sunday, whenever the park has like a little event here, because they do like little events every single weekend, they kind of, you can't really kick them out, but it is owned by the church. I found out, not Scientology, this church over here, really nice church. So they do have the right to request that people leave, and they do have the right to call the cops and stuff. It is official. They have made it a public, I forgot what it's called. It's like, it has a unique status, like public domain, but it's actually owned by, the land is owned by them. They just created the park. There are like things you can't do here that in a regular park you'd be able to do. I personally made sure that I could go live in here before I did it, and they said that was totally cool, that since they made it public, that no one has the expectation of privacy in the park. But yeah, I mean, I was just furious when I came and saw them sitting on this bench. Leave on for the watch time. Have a great cult-free day. You got it, cul-de-sac. You got it. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I do. So what do you guys think about, I decided, because I always avoid this, but I like anybody that's in the chat now that wasn't in here before, I just like to point out that while I'm not even educated enough to know all the politics that are going on, but Solomon is such a good kid. Yes, he is. He's amazing. He is definitely amazing, Eric. I will say that. Amazing kid. Anyway, but you know, I guess a lot of the politics have created enough drama where even some of the bigger channels felt obligated to address it. And then somebody mentioned to me that I don't address it ever, and that I should. This individual just pointed out that I should explain that I'm literally. I've attempted to get people to communicate better, but that's the extent of my involvement. I have no side. I have no, you know, I have nothing. Not that I don't have a dog in the fight, because of course I do. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's totally cool. These kids are having a good time. Just telling their mom because they're running all over my stuff, which I do not care at all. But yeah, I feel strongly about the fact that I don't like getting involved in politics, but at the same time, I'm more than willing to have a conversation about it as long as it's respectful. But you guys probably have more info than I do on the entire subject. I am simply a dude that tries to help. I don't know much, and like I said, I have not had any bad experiences. I think there were one or two people for a little bit that thought that I had like an opinion that was, let's say, negative, and then I just cleared it up and made sure that they understood that I literally could not be more neutral, and just hope that everybody gets along, because that is the best. Things will move forward no matter what, that's for sure. I agree with that. A lot of people have been saying that like it doesn't matter what happens. I do agree with that. But, you know, it is what it is. I just wanted to say that I have no problem addressing it, as long as it's respectful. And the reason that this individual pushed me a little bit, neutral school, good, St. Louis, I assumed you were. Like I always think about that when I have people on the channel. I assumed you were. I really did. I assumed you were. I find it fascinating that, like, no matter what you do in life, there are always going to be some form of call it politics or whatever it is. Sorry, guys, just grabbing something. Let's see, what did you say here? I think all the division of the movement is sad. Yes, I would agree with that. I don't, like, some of the people think that it's like going to destroy the whole movement or whatever. I don't believe it will. I believe things will go forward. But I do, when I see people so up in arms and this little kid sitting on the rocks. But anyway, that's really funny. Kids not listening to their mom. But yeah, I think the division is also very sad. Other side of the rock, yeah. This little boy, he's adorable. That's his mom I was talking to. He's climbing up on the rock. He doesn't want to leave. King of the rock. But I also agree that it's, hello! King of the mountain over there. Cute kids, yeah, they're awesome. Yes. Yes, they know their mom's buttons. She just had to come back in the fence just to get her kid. She happens to be awesome. I'm not going to say her name, but I'm friends with all the people out here, and she had to walk. It's actually not that easy. She had to walk all the way, and her kid's behind the rock. That's adorable. Boom, time to go. I love it too. It's literally what made me so angry when I saw that Scientology was trying to infiltrate this park. It's what made me so angry. Can you imagine a mom like that sitting with their kids and just trying to, like, hang out, enjoy the day, and they're literally being given these tickets to Scientology and being told, and like there's a moment, they're so open-minded in this neighborhood that there are moments where they just think like, oh, okay, oh, it can help me in this way, I can be a better parent, oh, okay, I'm gonna, you know, whatever. So I just think it's disgusting. Have a good weekend. she's awesome. That lady's got a bunch of kiddos. Like I said, this is a very family-oriented neighborhood. I would say like this square mile, if you live in the city, there are probably more families that are not like not considering neighborhoods with like homes and backyards. This is like the most densely populated neighborhood with families that are living in, you know, it's so expensive just to live in any one of these apartments that are around here. They redid this one really nicely actually a couple of years ago. I love that building that's right across from the park. But so expensive. It's ridiculous. My condo is so tiny compared to my condo that's all the way north, and the price is like about for it's 3 times more expensive, and it's literally 1/8 of the size. So I have an apartment that's 8 to 10 times bigger in West Rogers Park, like right off the river. Beautiful apartment in a building where there's like a pool and, you know, like a very nice place. And meanwhile, I have this tiny little spot that's in the city, and it's actually insane, to be honest. The property, the amount of people that the amount of money that you have to spend just to be in a tiny little spot. But yeah, but you got the little kiddos like this one. It's another friend. This is the one that was running all over my stuff. Yeah, I love the kiddos. They're awesome. Mine are all grown. I remember the times when we used to hang out like that. But yeah, I've not, you know, with Scientology, other than that one friend of mine that was affected so significantly by Scientology, I've never had like anything else. And that was 2008. That was so long ago that, and it's just crazy that they're still going on. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And that's the only reason that I think the division, that I feel like the division is hurting, is because Scientology is still out here. So like we gotta make sure that we know what our mission is, and we just gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta do everything that we could do. That's what we have to do. So yeah. But wondering what you guys think, especially I always wonder, like, I'm in Chicago, let's say, right? So I know the Chicago people, and I'm friends with all the Chicago people, and et cetera, et cetera. So I know more of, like, let's say, what's going on here. But I wonder what people think about when they see it, you know, when they see other, I know there's a lot of people that watch Shannon's channel. That's Chicago Scientology Audit. And then Trashy for a long time. I think people are still watching a lot. He's got a great channel. And Windy has a huge channel now too. I'm impressed with him. He actually spent a lot of time creating the channel that he has. And he's very active. It's good for him that he takes his time and he utilizes it towards that. I wish I had time like that to do this type of stuff. As you guys are watching, by the way, my head is always like on a swivel because it's a cul-de-sac right over here, and there's kids like everywhere. It's a really weird street. It feeds into one or another, and then you hit right away the train tracks, or you turn down streets and it's a do not enter. So you have stuff that's always going on here. And honestly, if I were Scientology, I would send people to this park. They probably had been coming since they had the building back in the day. Amy! What is up, Amy? What is up? I was telling people now, like, I have a huge on Facebook. There's like thousands of people in this one Facebook group from part of like my life story. And recently, someone by the name of Amy sent me a friend request, and I immediately assumed it was you. It was a funny little message I wrote, and the person had no clue what I was talking about. I think I wasn't physically at the encampment, so there is a lot more to what is going on. I agree. See, that's why I'm bringing it up. I think it's important just to talk about. I think I know what went on here in Chicago with regards to some stuff. and I can speak to that theoretically. I don't have a side or whatever, but yeah, it's like you said, you just watch the live streams and that's it. There's nothing more you could do. And even people like Aaron, who is able to speak to the subject, I actually liked his perspective about the fact that he was saying that he's not going to abandon one or the other or whatever. Have you been stressed lately, Amy? And how was Shavuot, Amy? I hope you had a good holiday. I hope you're not stressed. And Amy, I'm gonna make sure that you know like the dates that I'm gonna need your help, whatever whatever time you potentially have for a specific weekend, because it's gonna, all the people from Facebook and my other channel on YouTube, they're all gonna come to this channel, and I'll obviously have a couple other people as well working with you, but I have to figure out, Amy, and I can see both sides of it all too. I just want to say, Amy, really quick, that I need to figure out how to make you a full mod. Like I thought you were already. I want you to be able to, as long as you're here, I want you to be able to do whatever mods are able to do. But anyway, I could see both sides of it too. From what I've seen, I could see both sides of it, and I feel the same way. You're right, Amy. And Amy, I won't get into it, but you made a comment one time about one specific individual in the world of, let's say, whatever it is, somebody that was part of Scientology, and you spoke strongly about it. You felt very strongly about about that individual. So I actually trust you very much when you say that, because you have been you were vocal about and rightfully vocal about one of the individuals that's part of that community. If there were dangerous things going on in that situation, yeah. What do you need advice on, Amy? There are people to be wary about. I did not mind that in the beginning people thought that I was some whatever, because I wasn't going live. I was just there backing up their channels. And I completely understand why people thought that I was yeah, the whole doxing thing. I think that the one thing I'll say openly, everybody has a right to their privacy, but if you're going to really be out there, you have to assume that you're going to potentially be doxed. But if you're just somebody that's supporting the channels, I don't believe anybody should ever be doxed. I don't. If you don't want someone in your channel, that's your business. Did I see the stream that you were modding for? Amy, I've seen you mod for a couple of streams. I'm not sure which one. I noticed you mostly on Shannon, because in the very beginning, Shannon realized right away that I was not like a plant or anything, so I would meet up with her. Also, I wanted to make sure she was okay, because it's not easy for her to, per se, to get out there in the train and steps and everything else. But I just noticed the way you were acting, and I was like, oh, Amy's awesome. So I don't know which stream that you were modding for that I can think of offhand, but if you were modding for a stream and they messed with you, Amy, well, I have a personal opinion about that. Oh boy. You know the way I view you, Amy. I really hope that no one was messing with you. Gotta let me know if they were. I don't know who you were modding for recently, though. I do love the fact that you're willing to mod at all. I really do appreciate that, because some people may benefit from being live. Other people benefit from other things, but I mean, being a mod is literally just work, and you're just willing to assist in the cause without really gaining much, and that's just awesome. A lot of respect for those, unless, and this is the point I want to make, unless you're doing it for ulterior motives, and then it affects the people you're modding. So you could have whatever reason you want to mod. I don't care what reason a person has. It's if you're modding and all of a sudden it's recognized that you're really hurting someone's channel, or you're you're doing the dox, like a mod, let's say, taking advantage of their position. That's the best way I'd say. Something happened in the stream that was anti-Semitic, and I spoke out. Good for you. Oh my God, I didn't know that at all. In the very beginning, there was some anti-Semitic stuff, and I immediately emailed Streets, not only for the advice on the subject, but I had him take care of it. Amy, I got to tell you right now, I have felt more anti-Semitism in the past 6 to 8 months than I have ever experienced, possibly ever, living in this country. I think it's literally, it's at one of the worst it's ever been. So I'm not surprised, but it's not okay. Ask them to summarize OT3 story of Zeno and the body things, right? The person said something about, oh, like Israel, right? And I spoke out. They were like me being Zion. Oh my God, Zion. This, I can't, that's disgusting, Amy. Oh my God, Amy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, you gotta call me. Amy, just look me up on Facebook. You'll find me. You know what I look like. So yeah, I definitely want to know what happened with that. Oh my God, that's crazy. Not funny. Yes, St. Louis Scientology squirrel. That is not funny. Wow, that's crazy. No one's done that in my, in my chat. There was one time where you were the one that recognized it. Someone made just like a little bit of like asking, just like tried to bring in politics, and you shut that down right away, Amy. That was the only time. You're the one that caught it. The only time that I've ever experienced anything in my chat. But good for you, Amy. I mean, it's not easy to stand up right now in this country. People automatically, first of all, assume that they know your perspective on things. That's the first thing, which is the worst part. It's like, why would you assume? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and what does the Gaza situation? It's got nothing to do with Scientology whatsoever. And the one thing I'll just say is that someone who I'm very close to, who's like part of the very religious community, was just talking about it. Very, very insightful, brilliant man and his wife. And I was talking to them just in general because something happened. They were targeted. And he said, he just said straight up, he said, you know, from all the generations, and we're talking about like children of survivors from the Holocaust and stuff. He said, it was actually his wife that said it to me. She said it amazing. She said something to the extent of, our community just as being born, because people forget that. It's not like other religions. You can't be an atheist, let's say. You can't be an atheist and part of Islam at the same time. You can't be an atheist and part of Christianity at the same time. I mean, they can try to convince you otherwise, whatever. But like in Judaism, I have siblings that are atheists, and the most ultra-Orthodox right-wing rabbis that you could think of don't view them any less Jewish, quote unquote, than any other Jew, quote unquote. And that's something people don't realize. It's like in our blood. I mean, all you have to do is go to like the Jewish United Federation, the JUF, and you could take a blood test and immediately know whether or not you're Jewish. It's not about your view on things or anything like that. So people forget that. And what she said, I'm sorry, I got a little bit off, took a little side direction over there, but what she said was, she said, I'm tired as, you know, a family and an individual in the community. I'm tired of having the responsibility to explain why we have the reason to exist. I just thought it was brilliant. It's like this constant battle where it's like we're always explaining like why as Jews we're allowed to exist. I'm not getting into the politics in the Middle East. Nothing to do with that. It's just a fact. And, you know, it's been the increase in anti-Semitism. Yeah, it has. Tough job being a mod, but that's ignorance. Speech unacceptable. Yes. Let me see. Let me go back for a second. Seeing all the mod was stream yours, I'm so glad that I'm not a mod anywhere. The mods have to deal with a lot of, yes, they do. Being job that much is unacceptable. It's an anti-Semitism. The two people were talking about Hasidic stuff. Oh my God. You know, I'm the first one that will admit that there is the tiniest little fringe in the Jewish community where you might say there's a little bit of craziness that goes on, but it's still completely different, because being a Scientologist is believing in certain things and you have to like become that. Being a Jew, you can't affect it. Like Amy, your kids are what they are because their mama is Jewish. So it's like bringing up anything else is ridiculous. With typing comments, you don't have to explain. I don't want you to feel the obligation at all. It's just crazy. Sorry, I didn't even realize the camera was on me. I don't want it to be on me. They were talking about Hasidic stuff. I can't explain typing comments. Yeah, I can't believe that they brought that up with regards to Scientology, because it's got absolutely zero. It's got absolutely zero to do with Scientology and what we're trying to accomplish here. It's got nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. So it's disgusting. It's horrible. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the very beginning, there was somebody in LA who, let's say, comes from a Jewish family, and you don't want to mod for them anymore. Amy, don't mod for them anymore. I mean, if people are allowed, I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, I feel for you, because all you're doing is trying to give, and you're being attacked, and let nobody believe otherwise. Those comments are absolutely attacks against the existence of being a Jew. And, you know, it's got to do with your mother. It's got nothing to do with beliefs or whatever, you know. You could have, of course, there is a component. People don't even realize, Amy, I'm sure you know this, less than 10% of Jews in the world actively do things like keep Shabbat and kosher and whatever, you know. Made a joke and said I was hurt. Good. I take it personally. I mean, I think people are a little bit more, I don't know. Shannon just mentioned that my presence keeps people away from making comments, because, you know. But yeah, that's why I'm proud that my jiu-jitsu school made, you know, we made those patches together, like jiu-jitsu, like spelling it out, you know. I was so proud of that. I wear those patches proudly, and I wear my yarmulke everywhere I go. Right now in the park that I'm at, it's not far from the lake and stuff, so everybody, like, a lot of people are like sitting on blankets and stuff like that, so I don't have right now at the moment, but I basically have my keep on at all times. Let it roll off your back. Oh, okay. Let them experience what it's like living in this country as a Jew. Roll off your back. You're not a duck. Distinguish between paternal lineage and maternal lineage. It's harder to do that, but yes, it can. Yes, it traces the various sides of your family, and then it becomes easy to know which side is which. So, for example, it will say you're an Ashkenazic Jew. So let's say one of your parents is from a Middle Eastern Jew, Iraq, Iran, you know, any of the Arabic countries or Middle Eastern countries, versus having a lineage that was mostly in Europe. And then you know which parent. So when I took the blood test, I knew when they were referring to my mom, because my mom's maiden name is Deutsch, like Deutschland, like German, you know. And so when I was from Hungary and from Germany, so I was watching and like looking at my specific lineage, it was easy to know, okay, my dad is from like, his family's from like Belarus and Poland. So that's that side. And the other side is Germany and Hungary. So it's easy for me to know, oh, this is my mom's side versus my dad's side because of that. So yeah, on some level it could. If you know nothing about your history, it might be difficult to know which is which. That is true. But that's why, just as an example, any benefits that people get, let's say, like in Israel or the Federation that tries to help out Jewish people, they don't distinguish. They don't. So if your father's Jewish, they view it the same way. I'm not getting into like my belief on that. I love that they do that because it's still part of their blood. But most people, if you most believe that it's just the mama. The mama's the one that makes everything. The mama's the one that makes everything. At Amy, think about not modding because that's hate speech. I agree. St. Louis Scientology, I agree. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I do. And that's coming from St. Louis Scientology Squirrel, who, like I mentioned before, I didn't even realize that it was you for like the beginning when you used to come to my chats. And then Shannon's like, that's, pointed out who you were. And I was like, oh my God, I felt horrible. I talked about you one time without doxing or anything in a different one of my chats. But so that's coming, Amy, that's coming from people that actually care. But Michael, Andreas, to answer your question, usually you are able to, but that's because your parents, like I knew that my dad's family survived, came over from Europe, and my dad's dad served in the American Army in World War II, and so did my mom's dad, and I know where their families are from, and I know where my grandma, for sure, my mom's side, I know for sure where my grandma's from. On my dad's side, it's hard to know like where the family, it's more Eastern Europe, but my mom's side, it's very clear, Hungary and Germany, Hungarian and German, Deutschland. Yeah, it is hate speech. It's literally racism. I mean, I'm just gonna say it like that. I don't like getting too much into it, but if you want to, what does it mean to be Jewish in general? It's not just like some ethnic thing. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure you know what I'm saying, Amy. But it's unacceptable. I would never let someone in my chat get away with making any kind of comment about politics in the Middle East when this has got nothing to do with it. Nothing. Like I said, there was somebody that was targeted in the very beginning of this whole thing, someone in LA, and this individual didn't even say whether or not they identify as being a Jew or whatever. And there was one person harassing them and started saying, you're pretending, you're hiding the fact that you're Jewish, and really you're and it was crazy. And Streets put a stop to that immediately. And there was a restraining order on that individual. And then Solomon, I just spoke to Solomon recently. He was actually at a university, and he bumped into that individual, and that individual was also harassing him about it too. And all the people in Solomon's world just recommended that he try not to go alone to these places anymore. But that person definitely has like restraining orders and stuff like that. Someone said something to Solomon recently also about his mom. Oh my God, it was crazy. If I was there, oh my God. And like, we know who the person is. I mean, it's clear who the person is. The person has a channel, and I mean, I couldn't believe when he said it. It's your ethnicity. There you go. There you go. It's your ethnicity. I feel very strongly like that, Amy, and I feel even a little more strong about that, but it is definitely your ethnicity. I'm proud. I am very proud that I am Jewish. And again, it's got nothing to do with politics. I'm not the Prime Minister of Israel. I'm not. It's just crazy. It's absolutely insane that people just feel like it's just assumptions that are, makes me sick, Amy. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I am so sorry. I would definitely think about not modding for that person if I were you, Amy. I really would. I would not want it. It's very scary. I'm telling you that, when I walk around, I'm a big believer in certain amendments that we have in the Constitution. And as a kid, I used to get beat up a lot in this one famous like suburban neighborhood near Chicago. And there's a lot of kind of like, I don't know, KKK type when I was growing up. And we used to get in like brawls with these guys. And then I was I was competing in jiu-jitsu, and I was targeted, like heavily targeted, because I won a match. I didn't even know. And these two brothers have swastikas like from their neck all the way down to their waist on their back. Like their entire back is a swastika, as a mural. And I had been fighting those guys in jiu-jitsu, and they got really angry. They were part of a different jiu-jitsu school, and they came in and they attacked us in our neighborhood. I felt like it was really cool. The jiu-jitsu community threw them out of the school they were in. It wasn't even my wasn't even mine. Yeah, don't chat in there anymore, Amy. Yeah, don't. I told when I was targeted in jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts type, whatever, MMA type stuff, and I was attacked. People don't even realize that the school that spawned from the school that I originally came from, it was actually created by one dude from the Philippines, and the other dude is Jewish. And a lot of people don't even know that. He doesn't make a big deal about it one way or the other, but at this time, he has made it very clear that any politics that are brought up in his school, that's it. There's like a zero. It's not like warning. There are no warnings in this. And it's like the top 5 probably jiu-jitsu schools in the world. And he's amazing. He's a friggin' assassin. And he just said, nope, nothing. Zero tolerance. No like chances. People just get kicked out. That's it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Yeah, but when I was younger and I used to compete, I ended up, it was kind of like a little lunk-headed of me to do, but I heard that they were competing in this huge thing in like it's MMA, mixed martial arts, but like cage fighting, and I had no plans of enlisting in the competition, and I did just because those 2 brothers that had attacked me were there. I wanted to show up, just like that, and I did. It was a long time ago. I was younger, had more energy, and I was better at it back then. At Amy, I'm learning boundaries. You definitely need to protect yourself from such hatred. You are too special to the world to allow to be treated in such a manner. Love for your love bucket. Same doing Scientology. You're awesome. You are awesome. I agree. I completely agree. And it's crazy because if I had seen that for Amy, I would have done more than just defend Amy. I would have, even if it was something that I would let typically roll off my back, which I don't, but even if it was, I wouldn't let it just because it would have been Amy. And there's no way. I am a ride or die person. That is the world that I live in. Ride or die. If you're part of my circles, I will do any and everything. And like I said, I appropriately adhere to certain amendments that are in the Constitution. And for a long time, people thought that I was like crazy. Oh, you're so crazy for trying to be so prepared and da 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 da. And no, now the same people that initially, like in like the late 90s, early 2000s, the very same people that were like, oh, you shouldn't really be carrying on Shabbat. You don't need that. We're like such a, da 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 da. Those very same people, every single one of them that made comments to me back then, I would forgive, but telling me to let it roll off your back, exactly, 100%. That's exactly the point. It's not even about the way that you take it. It's the fact that other people have that perspective. That's the problem, Amy. Amy, you're hitting it on the head, because whatever you choose to do with it, that's your choice. But for another person to tell you how to deal with something like that, to me, you have crossed the line. You have crossed the line. And I'm telling you, I used to carry in synagogue and stuff like that. And now those very same people have all come to me and said, we get it, man. Thank you so much. And now in Chicago, there's like at least 3-4 people that have concealed carry in, hey, Wendy, I was talking about you. Yeah, I ended up here. I have info for you, Wendy. I'm going to talk to you about it when I get a chance. I had a conversation with somebody, and it looks like this person's like 1 foot out the door, and I'm just making sure that they are an adult, and I have a video with them. I did not make it live, and I got some pretty cool info, and I'm not involved enough I'm basically going to hand off the info to you and somebody else, and then I want you guys to do, whatever you want with the info. It's pretty cool info, Wendy. You're going to like it. You're going to like it a lot. I was really surprised that I had the opportunity responding to you about that. Yeah, people, it's just like, it's very cool. Yeah, Amy, the bottom line is, the end of the day, Amy, the issue is that people are telling you how to deal with it. That's the issue. It's not how you deal with it. Choose to do whatever you want, People in my community used to walk around and say, oh, I'm so peaceful. I don't need to have a gun, or I don't need to carry, or da-da-da-da-da, and all this other stuff, right? And now, pretty much everybody, they don't necessarily themselves, but they are super appreciative that there are other people in the community that are out there protecting. Where I'm standing right now, I have not experienced a lot of anti-Semitism at all, but I have experienced some. And the synagogue that's right near where I'm at right this very second, it's fully gated now with a guard in the front. They actually rebuilt it. It's fully gated because of what stuff that's been going on. So, yeah, I mean, don't let anybody tell you how to deal with that. That's crazy. But yeah, Wendy, I'll tell you guys really quickly. So, Amy, it's good for you to know this too, but so I've been seeing the same couple people that hang out together. So it's 2 people from Scientology, 2 people from the LDS, the Church of LDS, and 1 person, I believe, they have not identified, but I believe that they are a part of the Nation of Islam. Okay, one of them, who I believe is really pretty much just part of the Church of LDS, had a conversation with me about why they hang out together and how Scientology basically made a deal with a lot of these people, because you have to think about the fact that the Church of LDS, they are constantly on a mission all over the place. So they made a deal, and they hand out Scientology info and tickets and all this other stuff. And the person was very, very open with me, had a significant conversation. This is the 3rd time that I saw this person, and every single time the person spoke to me, and now much more significantly. I just don't know how to verify. It's so difficult to say, oh, I want to see your ID. I said it in a very nice way, because I said to the person, I don't, would you mind me letting other people know your perspective? That's your perspective on things. And this person said, no problem. But then I stopped myself, because I just want to find out if they're actually an adult. They got to be 18. Never again is now. Yep, that is exactly correct. This is the exact reason. It's one of the 3. There's 3 major things that make me so passionate about fighting the Scientology. One is something that started off the whole thing because of my friend who they hurt so badly. 2, I suffer from trauma, and being part of the church, any cult, is extremely traumatic. And I know, even though the trauma I've experienced is very different, it doesn't matter. You can literally locate on brain scans people that experience trauma. It's literally noticeable on a physical level, a physiological level. And so I know that. And then the 3rd reason is because my community is exactly the opposite of Scientology. It's very much, it's very public. Anybody that knows me knows that I have siblings that are part of the LGBTQ community. I have siblings that are, and they're loved the same. Everybody in my family is loved the same by all the rabbis and everybody else. LDS is so bad. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy that I had to even think like, oh wait, is this guy 18? It's like difficult to know for sure. It's like one of my thoughts, Amy. It's like, is this person 18? If that person was 18, I would have had the craziest live today, because they were all hanging out together. It would have been awesome. The Scientology individual was like trying to pull this dude away from talking to me, but he's not really a part of Scientology. And he was like looking at them like, no, he was trying to obviously convince me of his belief system, but it was an opportunity for me to have a conversation, and I utilized the opportunity. And you could just tell the 2 Scientology body riders were like, they didn't know how to deal with it. They were just like, obviously not very high level I'll tell you that much, because they weren't capable of just pulling away. But I will say this: the LDS individual goes and does auditing, which is crazy to me. It's so crazy. Scientology tells them that they'll be a better member of their church if they do auditing, and so they do. Hello, I can't see very well. Hello, what is that? Lexianne. Hello, Lexianne. But yeah, so I had a really interesting conversation today, and then I went live like right after. This is the bench they sit on. Whenever I'm out on Friday, if you guys watch from the beginning, my whole live, how long has it been? Oh wow, an hour and 50 minutes. But you'll see that like these little kids are like trampling all over. It's funny. I'm friends with the parents and everybody in this neighborhood. But that's why this bench, I'm very, I've become protective. They make fun of me, some of the parents, but they like it. They're after this one specific day, and they really appreciated it. They had no clue what it was, and there was a couple families that tried it out, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, really crazy. So yeah, I've become protective over this one bench. They joke around about it. People mentioned to this one mom that was watching me, with the kid said, "Oh, do you guys know each other?" And she said, "He watches the bench." He watches the bench. It's true. I literally walk by. So they have no place to sit down. This is where they sit down, the 5 of them, on Friday. You'll just find them sitting right there. Beautiful trees, beautiful park, and they'll just sit right there. King of the Rock. Yeah, so you saw that. Yeah, so his mom made a comment to someone else. She's actually a new American citizen. She's from another country, and we had a conversation one time about the difference in bringing up children in this country. But she's a great mom, I'll tell you that. She's a phenomenal mother, and her son did not want to leave. He was the king of the rock, and then he was hiding behind the rock from his mom, so he didn't have to leave. It was adorable. But yeah, there's a lot of kids and a lot of families that come out here, and I always ask the parents too. I make sure that they're cool with the fact that their kids might end up, and they all are very cool. They know who I am. They've seen me here. They've seen me in the neighborhood. I didn't used to hang out over here. For me, I wish they would go to I love the lake. For my injuries and stuff that I've experienced in life, the lake is literally the best for me. So I kind of wish Scientology would just recruit at the lake, and then I can go there and shut them down. That would be awesome. Being at the beach. Quite literally, one of my favorite things about living in Chicago is that I'm just a walk away from an absolutely stunning and beautiful beach. I used to watch my daughter like a hawk. Yeah, I went to the park when she was little. Yep, I was talking about my kids before, Amy. They're older now, but it was just yesterday for me when they were running around the park. I was young too, because I had gotten married really, really young, and I was super, super protective, and especially over my daughter. But yeah, my son is a bear Jew himself now too. I had my daughter in jiu-jitsu from the age of it was before my daughter was even 3. She was doing jiu-jitsu. You gotta watch him like a hawk. This neighborhood, that's part of the whole thing, by the way, Amy. This neighborhood is supposed to be such a peaceful neighborhood that you don't have to worry about everything. Yet you do. You have Scientologists and all these other people that are running around, and it's not okay. Not okay. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. That's the way I view it, basically. Just not on my watch. Do what you want, but not on my watch. If I'm here, this bench is going to remain for the families. They appreciate it too, so it's cool. A lot of dogs. There's a dog park right behind this park, but this is, they did tell me, I've been saying this in the chat, so now I can say this firmly. This is the only park within like a square mile or so. This is the only other land that's open without buildings is a cemetery on Irving Park. But besides the cemetery in Irving Park, it's just a concrete jungle, as they say. And then the church owns the property. This church over there, right across the street, they own the property and they made it public. And they don't sit out here and try to convert anybody or anything like that. They just made it public for the community. So, yeah. Mostly you guys know that I like talking about the identity component of like having an identity within Scientology. But recently, meeting some of these other little, hopefully they are young adults, little peeps. And hopefully I'll be able to pass over this info and introduce this one individual to two of my connections here in Chicago. Some people tried to distract me in the mall when my daughter was 3. I bet they were. I'm telling you right now that I know for a fact that in our community, that it, like when I was little, my sister tells over this story all the time. When I was little, there were people that were like right in the neighborhood, right on the outskirts of the neighborhood, and they used to come in and steal her bike, and the parents would come in. And literally, it's people. You wouldn't believe me if it wasn't for the fact that if you talked separately to my sister and me, it's like so consistent since we were like little kids. I used to have to go. She always tells people that I used to defend her and go get her bike. I used to get the crap kicked out of me going by myself, had to run after them, get the bike, get the crap kicked out of me, but make sure my sister's bike came home. So I started as a little kid. But I have to tell you that I know of certain stories in the Midwest. I know of certain stories that occurred in the Midwest where just like that, someone just turned their head and boom. And thank God the whole family's back together, but they did. Somebody did snatch a child somewhere in the Midwest. I'll just say it like that. But you have to watch them like a hawk. People do. I feel blessed, like being in Chicago, because Old Orchard, like it's the mall that we would go to, or off of Lake Cook Road, there's also a really beautiful mall. That's an indoor mall, but there's a mall in Chicago, in Skokie, but it's right outside of Chicago. And Skokie, after the Holocaust, Skokie, Illinois, was per capita, was the largest Jewish community in the world, again, per capita. So the percentage of people in that township that were Jewish made up for the most dense population. Now it's like in Lakewood, New Jersey, but it used to be in Skokie, Illinois, and they were supposed to have a march. You're supposed to have like a KKK whole thing march, and we could have stopped it. But anyway, there's a mall in Skokie, and they have like in between, they have like these things for kids that run around, and I used to watch my daughter, and there's so many kids, and I used to be a little bit obsessive. A little bit obsessive. Even though it's supposed to be a really safe place. But just when you think you're safe, that's when you fall into a bad situation. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It really is. We live in a crazy world, Amy. We live in a crazy world right now. This is really a crazy time to exist in the world. Those people coming in, they left before, but then the beginning of my live, I immediately went live when I wasn't talking to the guy anymore. But the LDS guy, Scientology, cult of adults. By the way, Amy, like one of the things I'm telling you that in 2008, I went down the rabbit hole with regards to Scientology, and there were straight up stories where I can't say that they like kidnapped them, threw them in the back of a van with a potato sack over their head, but essentially that is what happened to like some teenagers. They were basically theoretically like abducted, brainwashed by Scientology, and then the families just literally lost their kids for a long time, and it was horrific. So that's exactly, Scientology would have no problem with it. If they thought they could get away with it, they would think they're saving the world. They're saving the planet. Yeah, doing that to kids. We're saving the planet. Absolutely. I truly believe it. And when Streets and some other people talk about the child trafficking thing, I don't think people recognize it enough. The best example of this one individual, I really hope that he's at least 18. At least 18. I really hope he's older than 21. But if he's willing to come on, he's got a crazy story of how he got involved in his church, and not very cool. That's all I'll say. Not very cool. Beyond not cool. I mean, I literally spent more time towards the end of the conversation, and this part I put down my phone and I said, we're not, I'm not recording this, but seriously, dude, if you need anything, you can call this number, you can call that number. And I straight up told him. I literally gave him like a lot of my personal info in case he wants to get away. I know for a fact that he was basically snagged. Let's just put it that way, and brainwashed, and it's crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. It's crazy to me. His story is extremely significant in my opinion. But sorry, guys. Where's my thing? Sorry about that, guys. I wouldn't put past them either, Amy. Absolutely correct. It's really weird the way the sun came out. I think this tree over the summer gets larger and larger. This huge tree. It creates a tremendous amount of shade. I like soaking up as much sun. It's good for my scars. Anytime I have the opportunity to be outside, I love being outside. And grounding. I don't know if you guys do that, but I have a real big broken bone. I'm just walking around there. I lost my ankle. So I literally walk on the dirt on purpose all the time. Yeah, the birds, right? Birds in the train. That's what you hear. Little kids, birds in the train. But it's really healthy to just walk on the sand or the grass or whatever. Really, every day you should spend about at least 10 minutes a day with your feet so I just walk around barefoot, and I basically set up like a little place to sit if I'm here. I always carry stuff in my bag where I can sit and chill during the summer. I'm getting pretty dark. I know, right? I actually, when I first moved to this, so because of my trauma, which was not like SA related trauma, but there's a certain thing with regards to trauma where people don't realize this, but there's this thing about not sleeping in bed. Like it's just this weird thing. I've actually slept at I used to sleep in Evanston, Illinois, right outside of Chicago, like literally the entire summer. I would just sleep outside, and going to sleep was the easiest thing in the world. You just hear like the buzzing. There's supposed to be a lot of cicadas around. There are not in my neighborhood, but again, I live in a concrete jungle, so I wouldn't know. But I absolutely love nature. I was talking earlier to, what was it, cul-de-sac, I think it was, and we were talking about Wisconsin, which I love. A lot of nature out there. We used to go there all the time. But every day you'll see me walking barefoot on the grass. Or at the beach. Love being at the beach in the water. That's what I do everywhere I go. I set up a little camp, and I love it. I have slept in this park. I have camped out 2 summers ago in this park. I got permission from them. Summer feet by going barefoot. Just don't step on a bee. I had like 3 bee stings in my foot like 3 weeks ago, I think it was. I was like doing a live and I kept doing it. Everybody didn't know why I was messing with my feet, but I stepped on like a bunch of bees. Good, Amy. I'm so happy that you feel better. I'm so happy that you feel better telling me anything. I'm there for you, Amy. Trust me. I'm there for you. 2 seconds. I am there. 2 seconds, I am there. I travel to your area just because of one of my children. But it is, I'm really happy you feel better. Good. Good, Amy. Good, good, good. That makes me really happy. Show you a happy face. Never turns around, my phone. It's good you feel better. I'm happy you told me about it. I want to know. Absolutely want to know. It happened to one other person in this anti-Scientology movement, and I've tried to keep in touch with that person because of what happened. But what happened to them was in person, and it was crazy. You might have seen it, Amy, on one of the streams, but it was crazy in the very beginning. I was like in Chicago, and I was like sitting there, like getting all my gear ready to go run out there, and I was like, oh, I get so angry about it. I feel very strongly. Much love. And Amy, I'm a Levi. I'm a Levite. So that's what that's what our tribes did. And I'm telling you that me and my friends that are Levites were very protective. We were the warriors. Thank you, St. Louis, for showing out all that love. I'm happy, Amy. I'm really happy you told me about it. Really, really happy. I'm sure it's happened more than once or twice, but yours is the second story I've heard. And I, like, the second you started telling me about it, I'm so happy you told me. Let's just put it that way. I'm really happy you told me. Really happy you told me. Really, really happy. If I knew who the person was on YouTube, I would watch streams just to confront them on their... I would try to do it not in the group, so I'm not like trying to... But I would absolutely confront anybody that talked to you that way, that said anything like that. It's crazy. All of you guys throwing love at each other. That's the way it should be. It is the way it should be. Yeah, Amy, where you live, I'm sure you might live like within the community, and therefore it's a little bit better, but I'm sure you feel the anti-Semitism on the streets too. I do, in Chicago. I've been confronted on numerous occasions over the past 6 to 8 months. Numerous occasions. Amy, I always wear my yarmulke, always. Like, even when I was like a rebellious teen and I kind of ran away from the community, I was living in like by the rocks, by the lake in Evanston, Illinois. This like really, but I never took off my kippah, my yarmulke. I always wear it. I'm very proud to wear it. I'm very proud. You're Israeli. Yeah. I mean, probably, Amy, because you're probably from. We're only one tribe. Levium is. To be a Levite it's one of the smallest tribes too. Very small percentage of the community. So you probably are right. You're Israeli. Yes, Yisraelim. That's exactly correct. Which is where my name comes from, ironically. But I have a straight lineage when I took the blood test. It's like a straight lineage to the tribe that I'm from. It makes a lot of sense also. Just like on a physical level, like there's different physical attributes your daughter experienced in high school. I bet. I'm happy that I sent my kids to the schools that they went to, but I bet we used to get into it in the neighborhood that my high school was in, because I used to escape the campus just to like do rebellious stuff or whatever, just like a normal rebellious teen. And I experienced the tremendous amount of anti-Semitism until literally the like one of the top guys in this gang. His name was actually Moses, ironically. He was the top guy in this gang, and everybody knew not to mess with me. But yeah, I was physically attacked, verbally like crazy. The high school I used to go to was in a neighborhood where there was a lot of anti-Semitic stuff going on. And so in like the borders of every single Jewish community, religious, not religious, every single Jewish community in Chicago, the borders of the community have a lot of anti-Semitism. So at the tip of Lincolnwood, which connects to Skokie, at the tip of Well, not so much Rogers Park, but there's Albany Park, which is very close to Rogers Park, which is where the school that I went to was. Tons of anti-Semitism, tons and tons. I was lucky though. I was blessed to have those literally gangsters that were like, minorities. They understood what it's like, so they used to have my back. But when I was in high school, it was really bad. Really bad. I'm sure you remember, Amy, during the first and second Intifada in Israel, once again, people just assumed what you or I or anybody else believed in, and there was a tremendous amount, like in the 90s, because of that, especially after the second Intifada. And Amy, I think I told you, you reported to ADL. Okay, good. Oh, but they were ineffective. Oof. Listen, we got to do what we got to do, and then after that, you can't control what the response they're going to have. We're never going to get the support that we need, which is why I feel so strongly in some of the amendments in the Constitution. I hope I never have to actively, utilize that aspect of things, but if I do, I do. You have no idea, Amy, how many times the high school I went to used to get tagged on the beginning of the campus with like anti-Semitic stuff all the time. And I was a little bit of like a lunkhead, kind of like, I actually was in high school. By 9th grade, I weighed like 270 pounds, and I was like 6'1" or 6'2". I was overweight, but I was also like a big dude. I lost like all that weight in high school. I became, oh, look at that. The trains are breaking down. They should not be stopping here. There's actually a no stop zone. Ride with pride. That's what all the things have. But anyway, yeah, we were tagged all the time. And jiu-jitsu, I mean, ever since I started jiu-jitsu, it's been like tremendous. We weren't even allowed the most prestigious competitions in the world are the ADCC, the Abu Dhabi ones, and the Israeli and the Jewish individuals that were part of jiu-jitsu. We weren't allowed to go even to Abu Dhabi. Right now, they're like best friends with Israel. They became like, whatever, politically, they became best friends. And so now we're allowed to go there, it was so cool, because it's like we weren't allowed to compete at the highest level because we were Jewish. Literally because we were Jewish. These flowers came out this year. It's so beautiful. I love these flowers. I love nature. I can't believe that though. I keep thinking about this, that the ADL did nothing. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Did they try, Amy, to do anything? I'm curious. Did they try and it didn't happen, or they didn't even try? I'm really surprised. In the Chicago community, there's like the CCL, I think, what is it called? The CCLL, I forgot what it's called. But it's they are very effective, and they are very prominent in Chicago. I think it's the CCLL or the SCCLL. It has to do with like. Good, St. Louis. You have yourself a good weekend. Thank you for coming in and chatting. Love it. And I really hope to have more info for you guys soon. Don't feel apologetic at all. Don't feel apologetic. Hopefully I will be able to have this individual that I've met like 3 weeks ago. I met him for the first time. It was one of the first times I ever followed them to this park, and now I've hopefully he'll be able to talk about how he got involved in Scientology, which is crazy. So I'm waiting for that opportunity. I hope it happens. Until then, I will defend the bench. The DOA is defender of ants. I would be a DOB, defender of benches. It was crap. Oh, Amy, I'm so sorry to hear that. Reach out, Amy. Like I told you, it's really easy to find out who I am, where my social media and stuff is. Anything you need, I am connected to, especially the JUF, which a lot of the organizations that are in the country, they go through the JUF. I will defend the bench. I should change that to my channel. DOB. defender of the bench. You too, though. Have a great weekend. I wish I went live on Saturday, guys. You guys would love it. On Saturday, I usually walk to see if Windy's out up there, and then I usually walk to the lake. If I'm in the neighborhood I'm in right now, if I'm in that neighborhood, if I'm in the other neighborhood, it's a drop more west, so it's not as close to the lake. But if I'm in Evanston, or if I'm here, this is the second time. There must be a problem on the tracks. This is the second time. They never go slow right here. That's interesting. I wonder what's going on. This is right by Wrigley, but that traffic should be completely done with. Interesting. Interesting. I'm trying to look down the thing to see. I can't tell. The other direction seems to be fine. Can you say, yeah, Amy, do me a favor. Let me know if you have that. I wasn't going to put the pressure on you, but yes, I want to see it. I want to know. I want to see if I can watch that video. I think it's significant. Yeah, send me an email. It's my full name at yahoo.com. Amy, please send me any info. I will send you all of my info. So it's my full name, just no uppercases, at yahoo.com. Anybody, you guys can all, but Amy, definitely, please send me your info. Let's be in touch. Yes, definitely. Most definitely. Amy, I was literally just for a day. I'll respond and tell you why in the email. It's kind of a good reason. But I was just in Lakewood, New Jersey. My whole family was just there. I was there for literally just a day, but I was thinking about going live while I was there just to get you on. But then I was like, I don't know. I didn't really have the time, and the people didn't really want me to, in that community, it's like a very religious community. They didn't really want me going live. I was going to go live on like a big event. It was really crazy. But yeah, so I was not far from you, Amy. Not far at all. I'll be out there again a couple times this summer. The next time, hopefully, if I have your info, the next time I'll hopefully... Good. Take your time, but good. Good. You let me know. Yeah, definitely look. Absolutely, Amy. For sure. Not even a question. Yeah, I can't believe, to be honest, that the person told you to let it... Like, what are you talking about even? Like, let it roll off your back. Like, doesn't even make any... Like, what are you talking about? Like, do you know anything? That is it. That is exactly it. You have my email. That is correct. That is my email. That is it. That is it. Send me an email. When I'm done with the live, I'm sure I'll be able to see. But yeah, I can't believe I told you that. It's really disgusting. At least I'm disgusted by it. So inappropriate. So not okay. There's nothing okay about that. Like, nothing at all okay about that. I wonder what some of the people that have a little more, I don't know what to call it, clout in this little community would say or do. I think somebody should maybe... I'm going to send an email to somebody specifically that I can think of that's in touch with me. One of the ex-Scientologists that has a decent-sized channel, without saying which one. One time I mentioned who I'm friends with, and people just assumed that I was taking a side of something, and I wasn't. But either way, point is that I'm going to mention it to somebody. I want to know what their perspective is, because it's like, if other things are not okay, that's definitely not okay. God, I wish myself or Streets were watching. Amy, if you ever want to watch a really bad situation, go back to like the second or third time that everybody came out in LA in the very beginning. If you go on Streets or Confident Chris or Jessica, you'll see what someone did. It was bad. It was crazy. But Streets shut it down so fast, and they put a restraining order on the individual that had done that. But by the way, Amy, this is crazy. Solomon himself experienced something recently where this one guy literally threatened Solomon's mom. I got involved. I definitely got involved. But he also got a restraining order, so at least temporary. restraining order. The person was trying to avoid being served, and people that support Solomon, like Streets, help Solomon get that person served. So, I mean, I shouldn't speak for Solomon, let him tell the story, but he has talked about it. I should say that out loud. Solomon himself went live regarding the entire story that he experienced. And he doesn't talk about it being anti-Semitic, but I was pointing out to him very subtly. And then when I was in direct contact with him, like we were having a conversation, I said he needs to keep that in mind, that he might not realize that. But I looked also into that. My brother-in-law, basically, I don't care saying this, my brother-in-law is really good at finding out stuff. Like, he can find pretty much anything on the internet. And I had him look into this one creator that had made the threats. And the person has done things before and said things before to other Jews. So, okay, you know all about it, yeah. So that guy, by the way, I'm gonna continue to do my research, but that guy, allegedly, this is not the first time, and he very much, there were other people that person targeted, but if you really look at the situation, the way he targeted Solomon, it was pretty much clear that he was targeting Solomon, and I'm just happy that you know, Streets was there to make sure things are okay, because, you know, when I was Solomon's age also, I also felt like, oh yeah, I can go anywhere and do anything, and then you realize that no, you can't. Sometimes you're a little bit too young and you can't. I mean, God forbid something would happen to him, I would freak out. But yeah, the second that thing went down, Amy, I immediately got on the phone with Solomon. He actually, you could see that he talks about it in one of his live streams. He's like, I have to stop the live stream right now. Yisroel is calling me. It was so funny. And I didn't care that he was live. I wanted to tell him to stop being live just where he was at that moment. But I ended up speaking to him, and we figured it out. Hold on. I'm right here, guys. You're just going to be looking at grass for just a second. Hang on, guys. I can't see the comments yet. I'll be right back. I told today the guy from the Church of LDS, I told this one guy that I'm talking to, I said to him, I said, dude, I just want to thank you so much. Good, email me whenever you want, Amy. And Amy, I run a program, even though I keep Shabbat, Amy, I run a program for teens, and I'm a paramedic also, besides psychology. And so, I, you know, on Shabbat, if I have to, I do use my phone. I'm just pointing that out because I will definitely respond to your email the second I get it. But, what was I saying? Can't remember. But, the guy from the LDS. So, I was talking to him in general just about like what he understood of the world, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you just realize, like, when people are brought up in such a vacuum where, like, listen, I was brought up in a community where it was so intensely, you know, like just part of the community, not part of anything else. And I still had a tremendous understanding of, let's just call it, the outside world. This dude that I was talking to today, I mean, he's at least close to 18. And, oh, you're an RN? There you go. So you would be, do you do Hatzalah? Do you volunteer for Hatzalah? A lot of the nurses in the community do. Some of the hospitals, Amy, it's really funny because some of the hospitals that are near the community, unfortunately, all of the surgeries I've had and stuff like that, it could get uncomfortable. Like once in a while, all of a sudden, like, one of the nurses that walks in is like from the community, and I'm sitting there, and when I had like spinal surgery and I like need a bath, and then all of a sudden one of the people from the community walked in. She was just laughing the whole time. I was laughing even harder than her. I didn't care, but yeah, that's awesome that you're a nurse. There's no Tzala near you. Well, we're gonna have to start one. We'll have to start one, but then it's still good year-round. If you're ever at synagogue or whatever, it's always good. That's what I always say. It's always good to have doctors and nurses, and I think nurses even more so. Nurses and paramedics are better at emergency situations. They're more prepared for action. Doctors typically, not always, but typically physicians, people that practice medicine itself. You just emailed me in. Let me look. It already popped up on my perfect, Amy. As soon as I get off, which is going to be soon. I said at the beginning I can't go more than 2 hours. So in about 10 minutes, I'll definitely email you. But I think it's important in general in any community to have a variety of people that are capable of and also, Amy, I'm sure you've experienced this, but I find it fascinating and totally cool. I'm more than cool with it, but a lot of the doctors that I deal with, let's say on a monthly or whatever basis, a lot of them, it's done by nurse practitioners today, just under someone that is a doctor. I have a nurse practitioner that sees me on a regular basis, and I have never met the physician. I only know her. And she does such a great job, and I feel like she probably does a better hands-on job than the physician does. There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I won't call tonight. You got it, Amy. Don't worry. I'll text first, and then we'll speak after Shabbat, and especially if you, I'll make sure not to. Don't worry about it, Amy. And when I send you, Amy, when I respond, you'll see I'm going to respond with every single piece of my contact info, and then you'll be able to contact me however you want, discreetly or however you want. I like that you're productive, that your daughter's sitting next to you. Good for you. Good for you. They are more comprehensive. They really, really are. And listen, I'm somebody that in the field of psychology, at least, we're considered, right, there are people with master's degree in social work, let's just say as a comparison, versus being a doctor. My brother is a, let me say this correctly, he is a licensed clinical social worker. He provides regular therapy. He's one of the best out there, I'm telling you. My brother's amazing. He's actually out on the East Coast, in the mountains. I worked out there too, on a reservation for a little bit, but anyway, he's just phenomenal. He does a phenomenal job, and he does work with a physician as well, and he works with a psychologist too that oversees some of the stuff, but he's more comprehensive. I view it the same way. I really do. Nurses and paramedics are much more capable, and they're quicker to react to emergency situations. Like, I always remind people of this. When you go to the hospital, if you end up in the ER for anything, I don't care what it is, if you get rushed, God forbid, to the hospital, the people that initially take care of you are all nurses. Every single one of them. The doctors only come in when like a procedure is ready to be done. The nurses have to immediately, recognize what's going on, diagnose, and treat from there forward. The doctor comes in for maybe 3 minutes. It's always the nurses that I'm dealing with. And unfortunately in my life, I've had to experience a lot of hospital visits. So I can tell you that I would say 90, no exaggeration, 90 up to 99% of the time is with nurses. They're the ones that take care of the patients. And my brother, who works under a psychologist, who's like a doctor of clinical psychology, my brother does 90% of the therapy at that practice. The psychologist oversees and does some testing and stuff like that, but the actual therapy is done by my brother, and he's a licensed clinical social worker. You know where he is, Amy? I'm trying to think of the actual town, but he is also in the mountains. He's also in the Poconos. He's closer to like Boston, which is where my family's originally from. Not that I have a significant accent, but a little bit I do. Certain words, God, not, but that's pretty much it. But anyway, that's where he is. He's out there, and he's a licensed clinical social worker. And just like nurses, he takes care of stuff. Times, why is the church bell ringing? They don't even have services tonight. It's interesting that they rang the bell. The bell doesn't usually ring at this time. Interesting. This parking lot is usually filled with immigrants. They take care of a lot of the immigrants that are in the neighborhood. This parking lot is literally filled, and at night they have a security guard, but they let people during the summer tent up over there, and they take care of them. Interesting church. Real church. Actual religion. I actually like the people at this church. They're really cool. Really cool people. They recently had to put up a lot of cameras, like up there. You'll see that's a new camera. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, it's hard to see through the fence. That's one new camera. And then there's a camera. You can't really see it, but you see like an antenna. It's like right there. There's a camera. But it's a really beautiful building, to be honest. It's like a really beautiful building. There's another one right there, up there. And then you have the steeple. As soldiers will refer to it as a bird's nest. A bird's nest. So guys, in about 4 minutes I'm getting it off. Nobody came back to bother anybody else here, so that's good at least. Hopefully they'll stay away. And then Amy, when I get back home, I'm gonna email you back with all my contact info, and that'll be perfect. But yeah, so it's good. At least I did get to go live. It was giving me problems earlier, so I'm happy about that. I need to figure out better. I'm going to ask Wendy or Shannon or somebody, one of those people, better how to, for some reason on my phone, they also tried and it didn't work, to predict when I'm going to be going live. I do not know why. It does not give me the opportunity to like let people know that I plan on going live. Really weird. It's a long video. Okay. You'll whenever you want. I'm not worried about getting that info immediately. I am going to have a private discussion with one of the people without saying any names. I'm just going to mention, because it did one time come up. One time it came up in my feed, but I want to know the perspective of somebody who is, I don't like saying this like this, but someone who's more of like a leader within this community. I know, Amy. I tried so many times. They also said it's weird. They think it's because I have like a few YouTube channels. And like even right now, like there's 4 people in this chat room, but I'm linked up with another YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel, and there's more people than that in that channel. They think it might be because I have to do it on both channels somehow. I think I'm just going to get rid of my other channel, and then I'm just going to have one channel, and this will just be my channel. It's better this way. It's got my name, and it's just easier. I don't really care. Any content I put out can just be on one channel. I'm cool with that. That's what I'm going to do. And then it should let me set up a stream in advance. And I am going to figure it out too, Amy, because when I'm in Iowa over the summer, I definitely have to have it set up so people know exactly. You guys can definitely assume that on the weekend of, so July 19th is a Friday, somewhere between noon and 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, I'm going to be speaking at a really famous museum, and I'm going to be speaking then at a university. And then have a good Shabbos, Amy. Have a very good Shabbos. You should definitely go. Like I said, I'm going in literally 1 minute. Also, I'm just mentioning this now, that on July 19th and then the Sunday, so that's the 21st, I'm speaking again twice on Sunday, and then a big speech on the 22nd, which is a Monday. So have a good night there. You have a good night too, guys. In literally 20 seconds I'm going to get off. But yeah, so I'll just say it again. And then on a different time, whenever Amy is on my channel next, I'll have her throw it out there. But basically, so July 19th, and then Saturday I'm not doing anything, but so that's the 20th, and then the 21st and the 22nd. So 19, 21, and 22 of July, I'm going to be going live, and I'm going to be speaking a couple times each one of those days. So, well, good night to y'all. Literally, it's hitting 2 hours right now, and I got to get ready for the Sabbath too. But it was awesome having you guys in. Thank you guys as usual for coming. Thank you guys. Thank you, Lori. I'm getting off right now too. Thank you so much, Lori. I'm hopping off myself right now. It's been 2 hours. So you guys have an amazing, amazing weekend. All right. Have a good one. Love to y'all. Love, hearts, hugs to everybody. Peace and love to everybody.